Hello, and a very, very happy Thanksgiving to all. I don't know when you're watching this or when I've even posted it, but I'm doing this thing, trying to start a new tradition for myself. Thanksgiving at the movies. You know, I don't normally call my folks until later at night because, right now it's still really early in the morning for them. So, instead of sitting around the house all day, I decided I'm going to go out and I'm going to see a couple movies and do a couple reviews. So this is going to be interesting because what I'm doing right now is this is not a drive home review. This is more of a drive to the movies review. I went and saw Moana at the Cordova Cinema, and now I'm going to try to make it down to the Paradiso. The next one I want to see is at 2:30, so I want to see if I can get down there in time. I'm thinking it'll probably be alright. It's Thanksgiving. I can already tell you traffic is pretty slim, but we're going to see. So anyway, I'm doing a review for one film while on my way to see the next. So, Moana, the latest Disney offering. It was good. It was good. Not really any flaws to speak of other than the fact that I said this during my Doctor Strange review, that Disney has formulas. We all know this. And they're very successful formulas, and they stick to the formula. And they try to vary it here and there. Boy, I look really fat in that picture, so we're going to go back to that. They try to stick to that formula as best they can with little changes. And for the most part, they're very successful. You can alter it up enough so that each story seems fresh and new. And, you can just keep doing it over and over and over again. So, as I look at this film, and as I watch this film, it had a lot going for it. It had a lot of energy, a lot of really bright, beautiful colors. The environment is completely different. Obviously it's taken from a Polynesian, Samoan, Islander kind of point of view and the look of that culture. So, of course, you don't feel like you're seeing just the same kind of lily white European stuff that you see a lot from Disney. I like when Disney goes outside of the box and goes outside of the European culture and starts looking at others. I mean, I can say a lot of bad things about Pocahontas. A lot of people can. And they'd be right. But one thing I can say in its favor is that it tried its best to represent another culture and tried to do so, in a respectful way. And I think they tried. I don't think they hit the mark, but they tried. Same thing with Mulan. Mulan, I think they got a lot better. But going outside of that traditional Disney princess, lily white people kind of thing, I think really serves them, and it helps disguise some of the weaker elements of their formula. And I think that worked very well for them here, going with that Polynesian, like I said, Islander kind of feel, the culture, the look. It gave it a much, much different feel than anything we've seen from Disney previously, and I think that worked in its favor, because I think where the film is weak is kind of, I hate to say it, but it's kind of in its characters. First of all, I can't remember the young lady's name, but I know the girl who plays Moana. This is her very first movie. I know they held this big kind of open audition thing to find her, and I think she did a really nice job. The voice sounded very natural. Never felt like she was reading lines. She felt very, very, very human, and I liked that, and I think it helped the character a lot. I can't so much say the same for The Rock as Maui, the kind of genie character that we have in this one. It's not that he's bad. It's just that you're incredibly aware that it's The Rock. You're incredibly, incredibly aware. I never once, and I've had that problem with other ones, kind of like Eddie Murphy in Mulan, but and I don't like Aladdin. But one thing I can say about Aladdin is that even though, yeah, it's obviously Robin Williams going, crazy doing his Robin Williams shtick, I still felt like it was still the character of the genie. And this time, I don't know. Every time he spoke, I could just see The Rock sitting in front of a microphone, reading the lines. And again, he's not reading them bad. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of humor. All the things that made him one of the best promo men in pro wrestling helps him here. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't seem fluid enough for me. It also does not help that almost every chance they get, they have him do the people's eyebrow there when he looks at the camera. That doesn't help kind of sell me on the feeling this is a new character. But the bigger problem is not so much that, it's that these characters are such stock Disney characters. I mean, sing along if you know the song. Oh, Moana is an independent thinker in a small village, and her disapproving father wants her to follow in his footsteps, but she can't do that. She has to be her own person. She has to go and find her own way, and a wise old person sends her on a deep mission, and she's got to overcome her insecurities and all that, and finds a goofy sidekick, and she's got an animal pet. I mean, come on. This is the same character we've seen so many times. God, so many times. And even though the young lady is doing her hardest and really infusing this character with a lot of her own emotion and heart, there's not much in her that makes her any different from any of the 1,000 other Disney princesses we've seen. So that's a big problem in the early goings of the film. Now, somewhere along the way, and I'm not sure where it happened, somewhere along the way, that stopped bothering me as much. I don't know. I kind of got into Moana a little bit more, not in that way, don't be sick. But I kind of got into the character a little bit more as the story unfolded. But in the early goings, it's just, oh, look, it's Mulan or Pocahontas or whoever. It's every other Disney princess who just wants more out of life. Blah, 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 blah. So somewhere along the way, the writing and the acting helped pull me into the character a little bit. Not in that way. You know what I mean? So I give them all a lot of credit for that I was pretty invested in. I think it varied the formula a bit in certain places. For instance, one thing I really like about the movie, no love interest. There was no love interest in this film. And I liked that. I liked that the whole story did not hinge on her getting married or running away from an arranged marriage or anything like that. It was just her, and I liked that. I really did. Another thing is that for the most part, there's no real villain in this one. There's kind of a villainish thing, but not really. Done more for comic effect. So I liked that basically the enemy that had to be fought was not some mustache-twirling villain. It was kind of your own insecurities or your own, belief of self-identification or whatever. I liked that the journey was a lot more personal than there is a specific evil person with a song and all that to push us through. On that, I have to say, I think the music in this is probably one of the best it's been in a long time. I don't care what anybody says. Disney songs have kind of sucked for the past couple movies. Yes, I know. I'll admit it. I liked Let It Go just like everybody else in the world. So I'm not saying that. But let's be honest. The rest of the music from Frozen sucked. The opening, what's her name? It's the sister's opening song was just the song from Rapunzel over again. The troll song was irritating, and then you look at the songs from Tangled. That's the same thing. I mean, these were not great songs that lived up to that golden age of Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King. And I'm even going to throw Hunchback of Notre Dame in there because I think Hunchback had some great songs in it. This one, I think the songs have gotten a lot better. They're deceptively catchy. There's nothing. I mean, they kind of fall into the same place that they always have in terms of placement in the Disney film. But I don't know. Like at first, I'm listening to them going, "Oh, this is just whatever." But as the movie goes on, I was like, man, I wish they'd play that song again. I kind of like that. It's in my head now, and in a good way. And I have to give The Rock credit. I just dissed him for the recording, but he sings in this, and he's actually pretty good. I mean, I remember the times he sung on Raw and all that, and on Saturday Night Live. So I know he can sing, but it's cool to kind of actually see him do it. It was neat. So yeah, I think in the end it's another good one for Disney, another good film for them. I just wish they'd break out of their mold a little bit more. But then again, I mean, if you got something that ain't broke, and I guess if you vary it enough in each film so that you don't get tired of it, I guess you're doing okay, right? I mean, I don't know. There's one thing for me. And this is not necessarily relating to this movie in particular, but kind of to the Disney film as a whole these days. I'm old. I don't hide that fact. I'm pretty old, and I'm at that age. I was at that age when I was 20. But I'm at that age where, as Grandpa Simpson said, I used to be with it, then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems scary and weird to me. So I'm at that age where I look at things now, and I'm just kind of like, man, it used to be better. And so I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to sound old and crotchety, so please forgive me, but I really miss the hand-drawn Disney animation. I really do. I mean, the animation in this is really good. It's gorgeous. But it's all computer, and it's all computer. And I feel bad saying this because my best friend is a computer animator, so I know how hard it is. I know it is not easy to sit down at a computer and get it to do those things. I understand that. But at the same time, man, I miss watching something like Beauty and the Beast and just going, oh my god, look at all of that gorgeous animation, and it's all done by hand. I know it's a whine that's never going to come back. I know, until the day they decide hand-drawn animation is retro, we're not going to get any old-fashioned Disney animation like that, but man, I miss it. So, I'm sorry. That's me whining about something that has nothing to do with the quality of the film. The quality of the film is good. It's good. I'm glad I went and saw it. It seemed longer than a lot of past Disney films, at least as far as I can recall. Maybe it's been a while since I've seen one. But I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Like I say, the music was deceptively catchy. I think the main character grows on you. I think Moana grows on you. Once she gets away from the island and the stereotypical kind of stuff, I think that's where it happened. The Rock is, the thing is though, is that even saying that, I'll back up and maybe contradict my own review here. His voice still has so much energy and so much character, just in and of itself. Again, one of the things that made him one of the best promo men in wrestling. That even though for me I couldn't detach the actor from the character, it still had so much energy and so much enthusiasm that it was hard not to enjoy. So this one gets a good review from me. Would I buy it? I don't know, but I will say this, and this is something I don't say often. It's got me wanting to get the soundtrack, which I haven't had one to do with a film in a while. And fire truck is trying to pull out, so we're just gonna get over to the side here. Yeah, it's not a cop trying to pull me over. It's the fire and the first responders. So anyway, so looks like I made it all the way down to the Paradiso. Good thing too, because the fire truck's coming up behind me. Okay, good. Yay, here I am. Wow, and it is a lot more crowded than I thought it was going to be. Cool. And with 10 minutes to spare for the next movie. Awesome. I am good today. So, good film, good family movie. And if you're a fan of Disney films, you're gonna like this one. I think it's got a lot of that heart. And so yeah, I'd say, especially now that we're in the fall, and I don't know if you can see out my window here, but it's a gray kind of Thanksgiving day. So you know what? Go and see a movie with some really beautiful animation about a tropical setting, and pretend you're there. All right, so that's part 1 of my Thanksgiving at the movies. I'll be back in a couple hours with part 2. So until then, drive safe, and I'll see you maybe at this movie. Bye.